to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Aiden Ragland, and thank you so much for picking the correct door. Picking this week's episode, because we have a sensational episode for you today with a fantastic guest. So get ready to go full goblin mode on a fun conversation today. Today's guest is WizardzWiz, an artist, writer, voice actor, and goblin streamer whose welcome vibes, creativity, and general zaniness is on full display with everything they do. Wiz is someone that has been showing a lot of love and support for the podcast, and especially seeing the kind of stuff that they've had a hand in and the kind of stuff that they've been able to produce. I knew I had to have them on to, one, reciprocate that love, but also to just really showcase just how phenomenal of an artist that they are, and just a phenomenal person that they are. And I know you guys are going to absolutely see that with today's conversation. If you enjoy our guests, please make sure you support them in the links down in the description below. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. You know, I see that stuff, and you know, it genuinely warms my heart. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend you check out the merch shop on fourthwall.com. We have some fantastic merch as done by some amazing guests that have previously been on here, and I think you would look fantastic in that merch today, so check out that link in the description below. And speaking of those guests, you know, I have a lot of love and respect for them, and I want to go above and beyond to honor them. So, I'm going to be hosting the first ever award show for this podcast, the Posty Awards. And I need to know who you guys want to see nominated for the fantastic awards. So, in the description below, there is a Google form link. I highly recommend you click on it. You fill out the form as best you can, and you let me know who should be in the running to win a Posty Award. Deadline for that will be this upcoming Saturday, March 8th. I will be having the ballot sheet coming out soon afterwards, so fill it out today, and maybe your favorites can be up for the votes. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast. Thank you for your patience. I really do appreciate that.
No. I'm pretty patient with this kind of stuff. I mean, first time I've ever done like an interview, so like I'm pretty jazzed to it. Thanks for reaching out to me, by the way. I didn't expect that.
Well, I should be the one thanking you in the first place, because you were the one that was showing just like, you know, the little bit of love and support for the podcast in the first place. You know, especially after I had Alex Roshan on, and like having that love and support, then looking and seeing your stuff, I'm like, I gotta at least repay the offer more than anything else.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, who am I to be the one to deny an incredible artist of their own spotlight if they're taking the opportunity to highlight other artists and such themselves, you know?
I do appreciate that.
So a couple pieces before we really do get this show on the road. One, I apologize if you hear any background noise on my end. We have 4 dogs that live here. My dad's in the other room right there. He's usually pretty quiet, but I can only really control what's in this like square space right here, and even then, what's in here sometimes scares me. But luckily with my vacation, I had means to fight back.
Oh, you gotta. Oh God, knuckle dust of Eminem.
It's. I don't know if you can see it. It's the McKnuckle dust. It's the McKnuckle dust.
That's how you know you're in America. You have the McKnuckle Buster. Yeah,
this was something that someone like 3D printed and like sold at the con or whatnot. So that's what. Fun. Yeah. Like it's obviously a gimmick. Like there's no way McDonald's would legitimately sell this thing. So.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's just very funny.
Exactly.
Yes. Am I allowed to do some shout-outs for my friends?
Oh, you are. I am not only going to say you're allowed to, I encourage you shout out your friends as we go along that thing. And I will be sure to, like, you probably have to send me links to some of those friends so I can make sure to link them in the description below after the fact.
I will definitely be shouting them out, and also their projects that I feel like people have been noticing about, because like I have a lot of talented friends that I feel like need more appreciation.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, this podcast is more or less just a giant shout out for every single artist I bring on here at the end of the day.
I feel that. Like that's what I've kind of that's what I've I totally get that, because I'm doing my own like indie showcase at points to like, be like, hey, look at all these like things that people don't mention about. Like, I feel like there are not enough people who are like showing positive we have we need more of a platform and more of a push as a community to highlight some of like the smaller works. I feel because I feel like we have a lot of people who like talk about the big breakout successes like Lackadaisy and like Digital Circus,
right?
And like that's cool, and I think that's good to talk about. But I do think we shouldn't forget about like the smaller stuff, the stuff that needs to get the shout out. I feel like all that stuff. I guess you can keep that in if you want.
Oh no, trust me. I was planning on keeping this little bit in as well because like more than anything else, I mean, like I said, like when it comes to this podcast, that's what I try to do. Like, which is every single artist that I bring on here, because like. Hell, I did that today with like the episode that I released for Indie Animation Day, highlighting the zipped up or whatnot, because a lot of people.
I know those guys.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I was gonna say because like a lot of people like they loved when the one artist from that show, Borotello, did the amazing Digital Fight Club.
Yeah,
they loved that, but like not as many people know about the show that she is working on, which is zipped up. And
that is the kind of the problem that a lot of people face is that like, the problem is that a lot of people like a thing and then they don't want to go to like, oh well, how about this other thing that's more original? And that's and it's a big problem, and that's mainly because of like how again with everyone's fighting algorithms and likes and stuff, and like it's like I personally feel like. When it, oh god, I'm literally going into my ending speech right now. But like, I feel as a creative, the thing that you should do the most is to be true to yourself, rather than to try and chase like what everyone else is doing. I feel like if you have a story to tell and you want to tell that story, that's the most important thing you should do. You shouldn't try and like get the bad. Like even if that show isn't like 100% makes you billions of money or like makes you world famous, it being out there is important, and it may lead to something in the future. Like at the end of the day, like well, I'll probably get to that later, but like you don't like that's all I'm saying on that. I'll literally return to this point, but I feel like
I know we will definitely get back to this point, and trust me, all I'm just saying is that everything that you said, you've taken it straight from, you've just basically reached into my brain and just presented it out to the folks, because I feel like it's that way.
Yeah, that's how I feel like most of the time when it comes to like, in general, like people like I don't know, just a lot of people just again forget the smaller crowd, forget that that like we need a platform that's better at like showing different stuff rather than like something like Steam, because Steam has this thing where mumbling to myself. I'm gonna be in. If you let me go on for hours, I will go on for hours about this, because this is like a thing I've talked about on my streams most of the time. But that like as a community, we shouldn't limit ourselves to just the same, big three all again and again and again. You gotta branch out. You gotta evolve in that sense. You can't just stay stagnant. I don't know. I definitely word this better when we get like 3 hours later in this podcast.
There you go. I like that mentality. I'm certainly excited whenever we actually get a chance to talk about this stuff, because like again. This is the stuff I crave. This is the stuff I love talking about. So I think I found the perfect guest for today.
You definitely have the perfect guest to be. Thank you.
Yes. All right, Wiz, before we really do get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. It is just you, alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe. You get to truly enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations. I shouldn't say you're stranded on a desert island. It's your own personal, like, B&B paradise away from society for a bit. To make sure you don't go completely insane on this island, you could bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help whoever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
Now, would that be like forever, or like just until on that?
It's as long as you want to be on this island. You're not stuck on there forever. Like I said, this is your paradise away from society for a little bit.
That's a tough question. You're handing me the tough questions today.
Hey. Wow. I'm hoping this is the toughest one.
It's definitely going to be the toughest one because I like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I guess one piece of media in general, or like okay, well, technically, I guess my one piece of media. Let me look around my room. What do I like in my room? One sec. I guess Dungeon Meshi would probably be my one piece of media because I really like that book, manga franchise.
I'll say, what is it about that? What is it about that franchise in general that's the piece that you want to bring with you? Why does that give you that piece of comfort?
It feels very homely. It's homey, and it's just like, you know, oh wow, it's a nice little adventure, I would say, and I feel like I could like read it again. It also has some nice food like recipes and stuff. So like, oh yeah, I'll definitely be able to cook something up maybe.
I mean, you have the accommodations. You could just recreate the entire menu that's listed throughout that manga and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that would probably be one. That I know it's kind of. I feel like we should have said something like, you know, War and Peace or something, or like, you know, Sherlock Holmes. Like...
Look, I said you're trying to enjoy yourself, not have a book report. All right, like
I did like doing book reports, so I was like one of my favorite things to do. Like I could give you a full if you gave me like a month period and be like, hey, could you like write this book report on like, you know, fucking Dracula or like Frankenstein? I will get you something like at the end of the day. It might mean not the best, but it would be something, and I would enjoy doing it.
See, I'm halfway like that because I love reading the books, but I hate writing all the stuff. That's my crutch.
No, I get you. I mean, like, I just like going into depth when it comes to like, you know, literature and stuff. So that's kind of what I like I guess that's me being a weirdo or like a passive freak when it comes to like, you know, because my major was like English, so that's probably why I'm leaning to that kind of stuff.
I mean, to be fair, I went to college for mass media, and one of the classes I did have to take was like media literacy. So like, you know, what you're talking about, I basically had to do that, but with all of media, and yeah, it was interesting. But regardless, I'm sorry. Regardless,
no, I'm disagreeing with you. Yeah.
Valid. But regardless, Dungeon Meshi, that is your answer. You're locking that in.
Yes, I'm locking that in.
Then if that's the case, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You look fantastic in the merch we have at the merch shop, fourthwall.com. Link to that is in the description below. And follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and most social media platforms at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. They are an artist, writer, voice actor, and goblin streamer whose welcome vibes, creativity, and general zaniness is on full display in everything they do. Welcome to the podcast, WizardzWiz!
Hello, it's me. Nice to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to get a chance to meet you, you know, proper, like, chatting with you. I know we've been talking back and forth, and you've been showing love and support for the podcast, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that genuinely from the bottom of my heart. How you doing today?
Well, it's kind of nice because of the time zones.
Yeah.
Doing good.
I mean, it's only like, what, 5 hours difference or whatnot? It's not too big.
It's 5 hour difference. Yeah. I've been good. Just been like, you know, sleeping in because I had like a migraine yesterday. I was like, oh fuck. So hopefully that doesn't like kick up again. So that would be awful.
If it does, let me know because I don't want to feel like I'm torturing you.
No, I will. I'll be on the floor being like, ugh. If you see the Vtuber model just like freak out, then you know what happens.
If the model either goes limp or goes into T model pose or whatnot, I know what's up.
Definitely, you'll know what's happening. Definitely.
But regardless, I thank you regardless for taking the time to actually be here and doing this kind of stuff. Like I said, I've been noticing your stuff for a while, especially since you've been again showing that love back to the podcast, and I really wanted to show that back to you because the stuff I have been seeing you able. Wow, words are escaping me. Get back to me.
It is.
The stuff I have been able to see you get the chance to do on all different fronts, whether it be the content creation stuff, whether it be voice acting, writing, art, it's incredible all the opportunities you've been able to get and also to show that love back to this creative community. So I wanted to give you that platform as much as you're giving others that platform.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we talk about the stuff you're doing nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit and learn more or less the origin story of Wiz. What got you interested in the arts and such in the first place?
No, that's gonna be a long story.
We have time.
We do. I guess I got a question for you. But
Okay.
do you know what an OCT is? An original character tournament. Do you know what that
I,
is?
I've heard of OCs, but I've never heard of an OCT before.
Okay, let me try and teach you, and also teach the pod over here what an OCT is.
Okay.
So basically, do you know what laws of Talos is?
Laws
The thing
of Talos.
there's the one unknown person. What's his name? It's well, like if you know what laws of Talos is, that was what an OCT. It's what Zeurel used to do as well.
Okay.
So basically, an OCT is like an original character tournament. Think like a tournament arc in in a manga or an anime.
Okay.
Basically, it's like a comic contest where like each round there's a comic and animation you can do as well. But basically, each round, people put paired up against each other, and they have to write a comic fighting that character pretty much.
Interesting.
And then that's judged by like 4 judges to be like, oh, I like that, or like that. You go to the move next round, and it incentivizes basically like working towards deadlines, working like being flexible with your story, because sometimes you may be fighting a person who didn't expect kind of thing, because it used to be like random generated things, and that basically that keeps going on for about usually like 5 rounds or 4 rounds if it's a smaller roster, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those things, pretty much. And that was very big on DeviantArt, God rest his soul, for the longest time. Like, it's like DeviantArt, and like a lot of people would do that. Now, I was like I don't know how young I was, like 17 or something. I don't know, 6. It was very, basically, let me get the time zones for you. But like ages ago, like freaking like years and years ago, I was like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, this looks fun. I want to be a part of that. And that's how I started like making like dumb little comics.
Okay.
And I know I didn't win, but the one tournament that I would say that changed everything was Walking City. This is like one of the I know a lot of people have opinions, but I feel like Walking City was one of the. I'll also give you an image for this as well. Walking City was one of the best tournaments out there. It was run by Mirchuchu, and she, again, it was one of the biggest. A lot of big names were part of it. You had like Zeurel, you had Anderling, you had Pengo. It's like a big thing, I would say. At least for me. Now, I was like, hey, I can join this. I'm going to like submit my characters to this, my shitty little characters, and I'm going to show you who I submitted for this. This is like, again, this is the modern day Wiz, where modern day Wiz comes into play, because before then I was like growing up, I never really interacted with the community. I was always like scared. Like, it's that thing where you view like, because the thing about the internet back then is like I was very much worried about like interacting with people. I was like kind of socially shy. I was like, oh, that's a bit nervous about that. It's like, oh, it was a bit scary, because it was like big people, big names, and I was like, yeah. But I would say this was probably like my introduction, I would say, to this. So these are the guys I did. Will and Bat, one of the.
Oh, I love these guys.
These are where the names come. My name come. It kind of stuck because people were like, "Oh yeah, it's the Wizards guys." Yeah, that's pretty much where that comes from. These little guys. Now, and that's how I met. And basically, now I don't know if you know. I'm sorry if I'm rambling too much. I feel like I've rambled for a bit too much.
I'll say, look, this is a podcast. I have, especially a conversational podcast. I have encouraged rambling before, so ramble away, my good fellow.
Basically, what I'm specific. Yeah, basically that's where that comes from, pretty much. And like now, I don't know if you remember. Did you ever use DA before? Or
Not personally. No, I was never a person that took the time to go on there. Partially because I never felt like I had the art skills to post on there, but also I was not invested as when some people were going to DeviantArt, I was the person that was on Tumblr, to give you an idea. Yeah.
So you're that. Okay, I see. I get you.
Yeah, I know you can cringe. I understand.
I'm not judging. No judge. No judge. No, specifically, DA used to have this thing where they had like a chat, which is like kind of like it's like a free quick chat thing. It's not like a Discord, but like it was pretty much like you could go into like a group chat of a group on DeviantArt and just be like chat like your very old like message board things. Right. You never saved anything, but it was like you just chat quickly and stuff. It's kind of like those text boxes like in a stream without the stream thing. So like it's just literally just a chat box. So I was in there hanging out with people and being like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna chat with stuff, and then like in the chat, one of the not biggest, but Zeurel joined.
Okay.
I think you know who he is.
I have a hint, in case for people that are curious who in the world we're talking about. I mentioned him a few weeks back when I had Lythero on the podcast because he's done some animations for him. But also, you may have heard of this indie animated series called Monkey Ranch. He may or may not have a head in it.
Yeah. Aside from that, please go watch it and support the show. Yeah,
absolutely, please do.
Literally, I'm gonna fucking call him out again to do that. That fucker, I love him. I love that fucker. I'm fucking calling him. Am I allowed to swear? Wait.
I don't give a fuck. Go for it.
Okay. No. Okay. Well, you can bleep it out on YouTube
if I really need to. But like I said, I don't fucking care. Fuck all you want. Fucking swear all you want.
That's good to hear. Anyway, first thing I say to him when he joined was like, "Oh, I gotta be normal. I gotta say something to ingratiate myself with this guy. I'm a bit of a fan." And the first thing I ever said to him, ever, was like, "Yo, what up, Big Z?" One of the things I said to him in the chat, and like it was a time. And that's where my friendship with him lasted for like the next 10 years.
Oh,
that's where that happened. But yeah, literally, if you can track it down, I know Zoo has this as well, but like he made a good comic for that OCT for Walking City. It has a lot of. It's a special place in my heart. I don't know. I think he may have taken it down because like DeviantArt was crap, has been crap. So I think that's been not totally lost for time, but like definitely, if he does ever post it again, I'd recommend reading it because that's it's around. I'd definitely ask him to get it posted again. But like if you know, is my thing. But yeah, that's where I made a lot of my friends. A lot of that community of that OCT was like meshed together pretty much in the OCT art. It's where I basically started to get like into comics.
Okay.
I would say. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the one thing that I've always heard about when it comes to the golden age of DeviantArt more than anything else. Seeing how a lot of people, especially a lot of the bigger names that a lot of people would know of today, seem to get their start from DeviantArt. It kind of makes me, it makes me have a bit of that FOMO of like, what if I had known about DeviantArt back in the day, like who could I have known and what kind of stuff could I be exposed to? But yeah.
I would say this, like, despite of all of DeviantArt's flaws, we had flaws. No sites were perfect. No,
absolutely.
They've always had flaws and stuff. But like DeviantArt, at the very least, was probably the best way, like the best art place at the modern era, because like it had everything. You didn't have to like worry about like fucking algorithms or like feeds or whatever. You found the stuff you wanted to see and just went onto it like that. It's kind of like YouTube, if anything like that, because the problem is like everyone started copying fucking Twitter, and like even DeviantArt today is a shell of what it used to be.
Absolutely,
like it is, especially like I would I mean, you can still use it, but like it's not as like it's nearly, it doesn't have, it's more niche and less like a good time I would say, and that is the poor unfortunate fact of today's world. I
Yeah.
would say. Um, I also want to talk about another project I did back in the day, and
Oh.
I forgot about this specifically because it may be even more important than the Walking City thing. Yeah, I
Go
made a lot
on.
of yeah, but yeah, God, I'm gonna be rambling all over the place about this. But, I'm gonna be going backwards and forwards, like, oh, let's talk about this. Oh no, let's talk about this. Oh yeah. But yes, um,
Anyways,
if you like, it's called. Now I'm just gonna say the name right now, and you're going to remember this, and I want you to put this in the title card. Not in the title card. You don't need to put it in the title card, but like, Super Money Island.
Super
Now,
Money Island. Okay.
yeah. Now specifically, this is one of the things I did back in the day. This is maybe like before the Walkie City specifically, but it happened at the same time, so it was pretty much like concurrent at
Okay.
some point. So it was very much like a bit before, but like it is what we call a shitpost OCT. Now, the thing about a shitpost OCT is that you don't have a month; you have like a week between rounds, so you have to
Right.
make something like fast, quick, and funny. Specifically funny. You have to be like immediately funny for this short. So you have to like get your jokes out fast and stuff. And now, the character I used for this little thing, her name was Lily the Lollipop Cowboy.
Lily the Lollipop Cowboy. I'm already loving that
Yeah,
name.
yeah. She's fucking wild. I feel like this is where I will say this: there's a certain level of freeness when you're just writing bullshit in one go. Like you just let your mind turn off and you just write whatever funny thing comes into your head.
Yep.
That's like that specifically for this comic that I've linked in this thing.
Yep.
Okay, let me get her original image because it's also very important about like you get her what she originally looked like. But it was very much like just go ham, go funny, do whatever thinks is like in a funny sort of way. And I think the humor I made from SMI is the humor I have today. Specifically, if you will know my humor if you've seen anything I've written recently.
Yep.
But like it's where like I just got out there and did funny is the thing. Sorry for rambling. But
No. Trust me, I am not complaining. I love, like I said, I encourage rambling, especially seeing kind of more or less like how much of an impact DeviantArt had on you early on to get you to come out of that little shell and like really embrace art more so.
Yeah, like it's where like the OCT community is where I really got myself started, and it's where I made a lot of my artist friends. Where I made like I wouldn't even want to call them connections, but like friends is what I would say more than anything.
Oh yeah.
Like that's where I met Bed. Where I I even met gooseworx in one of these.
Oh
like,
really?
If you want to know, like it was a little OCT, another shitpost OCT code like chosen one.
Yes.
I think
Chosen one.
chosen one. It's where I put the character Sahunter. I think you may have seen the videos if you check my YouTube.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was gonna mention because I noticed some of the early videos. So now I'm getting like pieces together. Like, okay, so this was connected in this. This has to do with this. I got it now.
So basically, that's another level of shitposter. That was in the again. I did run SMI at one point. I was one of the owners of SMI. Like,
oh really?
After I won the first one, I pretty much feel like I basically became the owner. I won the first one, just so you know.
Oh hell yeah!
I basically then became like its de facto owner / leader. Funnily enough, that's a whole can of worms that you're gonna have to like figure. Like the stuff I'm talking about today is a big connection that I've made. Not made, but like all my connections can be traced back to like OCTs in general. Like that's how I met Goose, pretty much. Like if you ever, that's because she like I don't know when I think she joined Chosen One with Valet Wolfiel, which was a Valet Parker character, and I did actually fight her in like round 2 of the tournament. I think 50 was also in this OCT.
Oh
Like
wow!
this OCT was big. It was one of the biggest shitpost OCTs out there. You also have animators like Flipmeister who also wax on stuff. I'll talk about it later. But like I should be talking about this. This is like really old stuff, and I feel like this is like there's some that it was a good thing, I would say. That's also where John Pose comes from. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, like hearing that, like especially early on, all these different people, like it's weird that some of the people that we would associate with you, and also like some of the people that you consider like some of your closest friends or whatnot, they all started from again like Super Money Island and Chosan One of all things, like humble beginnings.
Shitty, like humble, like I wouldn't even say that because like it's basically. That's the great thing about, at least back in the day, art was just like, oh, fuck it, let's do whatever you want. You went, the goal wasn't to make like a big, massive project. It wasn't meant to make anything. It was literally just to be like, I want to shitpost and have fun with my friends, was the whole aim of it. There was no grand design. There was no like commercializing your hobby sort of thing. There was no like a lot of the jokes I did in SMI not risque, but they were a bit rude. They weren't like they wouldn't get monetized and stuff like in that situation. Like that it was like the Wild West of creativity, I would say, when it came to these kind of OCTs and like these like joke OCTs. Like they went. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. There's a whole level. Like you could do like a 5-hour documentary about different OCTs. I would say.
Oh, I can imagine.
That's the level of in depth on that.
I say, when are we gonna get like, I don't know, like H Bomberman or Bernie Viz to do like a 5-hour like in-depth video essay about OCTs?
OCTs. Well, if you want, basically, yeah, it'd be a good thing. It would be interesting at the very least. Hopefully, most of it's there because again, as common is to do. Archival is like a big problem when it comes to these things. Because since there's so many people like making stuff for this, of comics, you will inevitably have people who like either delete their stuff because like DeviantArt being shit or being like, oh well, I don't want to post this anymore, or getting rid of it. Like a lot of the stuff is lost to time, I would say. But like, you had to really be there for most of it. What else? Oh. I don't know. I don't know if I want to let you ask me another question, but I do have.
I'll say, what you got? What you got? I'm here for it.
So this is going back again to like Walking City specifically. One of the stupidest jokes. Like there was like a lot of jokes in this OCT. It was a lot of jokes. Like we got out of that, and one of the jokes that we did, like literally, I'm just gonna show you an animation, and you know what? No, nothing can do this justice. But this, I don't know if Mia's gonna be upset if I show you this, but like this is, but like it's public, and I think it's easy to see. If you go to my if you go to Newgrounds, 2015, there it is. This is the first collab I did with Zeurel. Back in the day, so you could play if you want. You don't have to play it. May get copyrighted or whatever. But like this is where I wrote this in about a day, and then we got like text to speech to like do the whole jokes for it.
I'm sorry, just the name alone has me so curious. Paradox is out of hot dogs.
Yeah, so basically that was the main judge owned by Mia, and we was like, fuck it, let's just do it like a big joke. For something, the hot dog joke was like a big thing back in the day. That was like 2015, Jesus Christ. But it was a big inside joke, and they were like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking write like a shitty like little funny thing, and I'll just like Z was like, yeah, I'll animate that, and this was done in like a day or like a few days, and it was like one of the quickest things we did together, and I it was honestly like a funny thing to do, and I don't know, it got me into it. Not got me into it. It was just a fun little shitty collab. Again, this is just for fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's the thing that I can at least tell with what you're talking about with the early on stuff, especially the fact that again you're talking about like original character tournaments featuring again Super Money Island and Chosan one. Like no one's gonna look at that and take it like seriously. Like
it wasn't supposed to be serious at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and but... and to see how much that has influenced kind of who you are today or whatnot. It's honestly very, how should I word this? It's very heartwarming more than anything else to see, like, again, the beginnings and how it kind of sprouted and grown from there.
Yeah, but that's how I know a lot of people is the same.
Yeah, that too.
That's how I've been around the block. And if you're wondering, like, hey, where the fuck does this Wiz guy come from? Like, I do feel like a lot of people, especially like on Twitter and like, well, not Twitter and Blue Sky, are like, who's this fucking guy? Like, who the fuck is this guy? Why are they promoting this guy? And like, yeah, basically old time friend is the main thing.
It's one of those like everyone else is like, who is this guy? Meanwhile, you're like, do not quote me the ancient texts. I was there when they were written.
Yeah, exactly, kind of, yeah. But yeah, I feel like I've held the stage too much. But what other questions do you have for me?
What are you talking about? Hold the stage. This is your stage. This is this is a stage dedicated to you. I did at least want to ask though, like obviously that was like the humble beginnings. That's where we get started from more than anything else. So when did it go from this like just love and fun and having like the shit posts and such to evolving into something that you wanted to make more or less like your career, something you wanted to like dedicate yourself for as long as you possibly could?
Like, I would say like honestly, it was Zen. I would say, like, honestly, it was when I saw like my friends were like doing stuff and being like, I want to be more of a part of this community, and I felt like the next step was be like, you know what, I want to make my own comic or something. And stuff. Like, I had big dreams. That's why I did my English degree, like specifically to be like, I want to be a writer for like a show, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna like, I didn't know where to start. I didn't have anything. I felt like at the time, this is not how everyone does it. God often knows like there's different ways of getting into the industry. But
Absolutely.
the way I did it was basically like, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna get a degree. And so basically, I went to, I was one of those kids who was like wasn't the best when it comes to school, but I did like a foundation course in English, and then like spent 4 years reading texts and getting invested in like academic work. I wanted like the reason I joined the academic side was so I could switch to creative writing.
Okay.
Now the problem is that every other chuck-a-fuck that's what everyone was going to do. That was like every other fucking chuck-a-fuck's like idea. It's like, we'll do that. It's like, fuck, and there was no space to move on to the creative writing course. I did do a module in creative writing, but yeah, that's where it started. Yes.
I like how you're thinking like, all right, I have this idea. I don't know if anyone else is doing it. Probably a few, but like, I'm gonna go into the academic field, get into the creative aspect, go forth, profit at the end of the day. Yeah. Let's go. Fuck, why are you all here?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like that's. I mean, I've like literally that like this goal of to be a writer for like a show has been a long one. It's like a goal you have to like. Not dedicate. Like I feel like I will say I've made mistakes when it comes to this, but like at the end of the day, if you're doing something you're passionate about, you should follow it at the very least. Like even, yeah, that's like I don't know of a point where I was like, oh yes, I'm going to do this. It feels like it's always been there. I would say. Okay. I don't know if I've had like the big interesting part of the story where it's like, yes, that was the moment when I looked up on like this movie poster and I was like, yes, that was when the moment I wanted to like be a part of stuff. Oh my god, I'm remembering other things of my story. I'm going backwards. I feel like I've started at a different point because like I could go even further back. Like I've started at the Rocky City, then I went back to SMI, and then now I'm going back to something even further in the past. But not even the past, but like honestly, writing has like to say out on the fact, I am dyslexic.
Okay.
I have proven I am dyslexic. So, and that was one of my big things. I didn't get tested until like the final year of my English degree.
Oh
Because I
wow.
was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna know. I'm just gonna whack without any help and do it, which probably would have made my life a lot harder. But hey, I didn't want to have that like in that like mental crutch in my own stuff. This is nothing for everyone, but this is just what I felt at the time for me, that I didn't want to have this. Yes, but yeah, that's how I felt. Yeah, like, and that's that. I feel like yeah, damn, this episode's gonna be so rambly to your viewers. I'm so sorry.
No,
Like, why are you?
You don't need to apologize at all. I mean, more than anything else, if it helps you out, I've certainly been intrigued just hearing all like the different aspects, the different points you're talking about, and like how, again, that's kind of part of the journey to where we are right now. Because, like, you know, a journey is not going to be a straightforward path more than anything else.
Like, if this was my biography, I probably would have jazzed it up a bit, made it more interesting, write it like a novel. Because that's the thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There was no real point where I always wanted to be creative. I think that's always been like my dream. So I guess that's a thing. I know it's not interesting to be like, oh yeah, I wanted to be like, when I looked up to the stars and I saw and the stars called back and said, Wiz, you are going to be a creative and stuff. Here you go. Good luck. But yeah. That's that.
I mean, no one. If there's one thing I have learned in all the conversations I've had in this podcast or whatnot, not every single person is going to have the linear, like, this was the moment I knew I wanted to be such and such. Like, there have been a lot of people that I've had on here that have straight up just said that, like, you know, that love and desire has just kind of always been there. Like, there was never like there was never the light switch moment more than anything else when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Do you have any other questions? Because I feel like I've just fucking like.
Trust me, I've got plenty of questions. You don't need to ever ask, do you have any questions? No, I got plenty of questions. Trust me on that.
Good.
I was gonna say, like, for example, you know, I seeing that kind of love and that kind of want to be in that content creation, it makes sense how that kind of move forward when it comes to the DeviantArt stuff, but also when it comes to a lot of the YouTube videos that I've noticed. When did YouTube become a thing for you, and when did it like really grow to be something to help you like grow your platform more and like help you in that creative field?
Well, again, it was I only really used YouTube as a place to post videos.
Okay.
As you can see, if you look at my earlier videos on that, you see the chosen one joke. That's where, again, all the stuff that like that first chosen one video is literally like not the ending one. I'll show you. You know, you've seen that one, the one with the bulldog. I don't know.
Yes, the one with the bulldog, which is
Yeah.
interesting to say the least.
Like that's like I will say that was a culmination of like a lot of my humor at the time. Like you could put. I want you to put like at this point, put that video up right now in the pod. And just have that scene of the bulldog on Big Ben nuke and just like crashing into that monster. That was like, again, only half the story. You need to see like the comic that's related to that,
right?
Pretty much. Again, that was part of the chosen one OCT joke. So at the time, YouTube was just nothing to me, as in the sense it was just like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that for all the YouTubers in there, but like to me it was like just a video posting.
It was more or less like it was more or less set dressing for the actual comic and the actual OCT itself.
Yeah, it was basically like, hey, I need a place to post videos. YouTube's the best place to post videos, so here it is on YouTube. I will say the reason it's 15 minutes, it had to be 15 minutes exactly, because there was I don't know, because I wasn't like officially recognized, so that's why that video ends so quickly, because of like, oh crap, I have 15 minutes to just I can't go beyond 15 minutes, and I didn't decide to like become like registered, so I was like, fuck it, it's just gonna be 15 minutes. So that was the max length that video had to be. So I had to cut some stuff during to the end.
I mean, I think some of the cuts more or less like led to a bit of the humor, well, just like the abrupt cuts in certain parts or whatnot.
No, literally the abrupt cuts were part of it. It was definitely like a lot of. I was also incorporating again all the characters you see in that thing was someone else's OC pretty much,
right?
Except for the white cat, that was my plot point that I decided. But like all the characters, again, it was a collab. The thing about OCTs, at least the thing I liked about the community of an OCT is that there was a lot of collaborative storytelling. Like even if your character didn't get to the end, you did make like a mark in the overall story if someone wanted to include your character. And it was very much the communities that got me into it. Maybe I came for like the cool comics, but I stayed for the community. And that's what I like about the art community is the collaboration. Like that's what I strive for at the end of the day. On that. And I wish we could go back to a time where collaboration was more like less pressure, not pressure, but like making things
more about having fun than just like, hey, we need to get this thing out there ASAP as soon as possible.
Yeah, like less about trying to meet a deadline or like I don't know, it's the deadlines of yourself, I would say.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, especially in that early DeviantArt that you're talking about, like you said, you came for the cool comics. Technically, you got both because you got the cool comics, but you also got the cool community to go along with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially with some of these, like just some of the things that you just presented to me real quickly when it came to like the shit posting stuff. I'm almost curious on some of the actual like comics and actual writing that you wanted to like. I wouldn't say do more legitimately, but ones that weren't based around that kind of stuff. Like, was there any sort of like concepts or any sort of comics that you had tinkered with and wanted to like present more and like get a little bit more creative with?
Oh, I mean, like back in the, I mean, I think after the shitpost OCTs, I did want to make more like legitimate comics.
Right.
There are. I mean. I'll show you. I'm gonna show you another thing as well. One second. This is a. Again, I can't like. I will say this right now. I would be nothing without my friends.
Right.
That I've been like honestly, I feel like they've been the ones that helped me get places, get stuff and stuff. Like, and I wouldn't like. My success is pretty much on their shoulders, I would say. Like as much as I say that I toot my own horn and stuff, but I legitimately say like I would not be the person I am today without my friends. I would say in general, like Leo, Bearrunner, Theme Guy. I'm just literally naming out names you don't know. Zeurel or gooseworx, Lozybot, Mirchu, like. Flip, fucking. There's a lot of people I could name. Frenchie, I don't know if you don't even know who that is, but like
not off the top of my head, no.
No, these are like these aren't even like the thing about it is like everyone's a creative,
right? At
some level, like there's some level of like of like your heart to stuff, and I think that's important. Not important. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I mean that's the thing. I like. What am I even talking about? I'm just rambling now. God damn.
Well, you were talking about obviously you had that good group of friends and you had said as you quoted or whatnot you would not be where you are without some of them or whatnot. But again, like I was also asking like what were some of your own like original ideas or like at least stuff that wasn't strictly OCT stuff that like you presented out there or ideas that you had.
I mean a lot of like at the end of the day a lot of the stuff that is related to OCTs in some shape or form.
Okay.
I would say like. It's very much a community that sucks you back in every so often because there's a lot like everyone's always making an OCT. At least back then there was a saying where I was like, oh, here's a new OCT because I've been like a comic creator for it. I've been like a judge for some of them. I'm going to be a host for one eventually, which I'm planning to do.
Oh.
And bring it back into the modern era.
Let's go.
Like, let's go. I mean, like, there's a lot of like one of the. I don't know. It's very. Oh, I'm just rambling now. Oh yeah, I just. Oh yeah. One of the comics I did was with a nurse called Bless, which was like a character I got, and basically it's like a short little small comic where it's like it's like a spooky blood nurse, and she's a bit evil, and I've made about like 3 comics of that. Like they're very short, but like it's one of the comics I want to revisit at some point. It's just like a quick sort of thing relate. Again, I posted that in the chat.
Yeah, I see it. I was gonna say I'm looking.
Yeah.
I say I have it pulled up on my wonderful little phone on the side, so I have this thing at the ready, and like already right off the bat, I love that you got a chance to do a little bit more with Will and Bert, because that first little look at them, and especially seeing the update on them now or whatnot, like I love that, because the original signs were like they were cute and whatnot, but I love how much you've been able to evolve with them and do more with them.
That comic that you're probably seeing right there was one with my friend Mort, which again is another OCT. As you'll see a pattern, is like most half my comics that you've seen in this thing are related to original character tournaments, and again, collaboration is the thing that I've always liked doing. Honestly, it's what makes making things fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I will say this to any would-be like creative out there: start with a comic. Like just start with a comic and just put your ideas down. It's like it's easier than going straight into your animated pilot.
Yes.
Like comic making is an art that I think people need to have more investment. Is like if you like I will say this, like I'm gonna say names out here, like fucking like people who made Lackadaisy, that was a comic to begin with.
Oh,
people
absolutely.
who did who like gooseworx, that was a comic to begin with. No, it wasn't a comic to begin with. Gooseworx had done other things in a short and small, but she's a comic maker and stuff. Like she I don't know if you like she's a comic writer, I would say. Well, he again is a comic writer. A lot of Monkey Wrench is you should just interview Zoo. I shouldn't talk about that.
I have been trying to find a way to get in contact with Zeurel so I can get him on the podcast at some point, because he is one of the upper echelons of guests I would love to chat with at some point. Them, Goose, like a bunch of those people that you just mentioned right there. Like
like as a person, I'll probably say in general is that you should dream small to begin with.
Yeah.
That's the thing I would say that I think I have learnt from my trials and tribulations of trying to dream bigger than I can, is that sometimes getting something finished is in having the perfect idea that you've ever had, where it's like the perfect idea, I'm going to do all this, I need all this and this and this, and like I'll just have all that stuff and I'll just wait, but I can't post it, I have to be perfect. It's done is better than perfect, because if you don't get anything out there, no one's gonna know who you are, what you're capable of.
Right.
Like you gotta make things, and you gotta make things that are simple and easy, and things that are not 100% good, but like get what you want to do at the thing. That's why the shitpost comics that I've done on Showed You was very freeing. It was very much getting out there and like having a good time. Like I think that's a lot of people, at least nowadays, are too scared to like show the process of them being like, oh, I don't like what I'm doing, my art isn't funny, my writing isn't that good. Like at the end of the day, it's better to just have something that's out. It's out there. Like literally, like even if it's not the best in your mind, it's out there and you're having a fun time. Like your goal should not be to be famous, because that's the thing that I feel like is a trap for people who fall into a lot of the time. I know it's good. I know it's like is a desirable state. I'm one to talk, especially how I've everything lately, but like it's not the be all end all.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, you should focus on what you want to do as a creative. Like you shouldn't chase the bag. Not when I say that, it's like you're not greedy, but like, and like it. Yeah, that's what I would say.
No, absolutely. I was gonna say like for me personally, like when it comes to this podcast, like if you look at from the earliest episode, I have rarely taken down any episodes, but especially when it comes to like those first 5-10 episodes or whatnot, those are still up, and you can see just how rough and how green I was doing that stuff starting out, and like how simple it was in comparison to kind of some of the stuff I'm doing nowadays. The only time I ever take down episodes is when either the guest wants me to take it down for one reason or another, or the guest I interview is problematic, which the less we talk about those, the better.
Oh, cool. You better have to talk to me.
like regardless, like, you know, with every creator, like if starting small is doing that comic in the first place, like do that, get the ideas out there and start refining like the ideas, the character designs, how the dynamics will work and stuff like that, because that is a great place to start. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had people on this podcast talking about how their like ideas started off as comics before they eventually built it up to the animations that they want to do and such. So yeah, you're preaching to the choir at this point.
I thought I was coming up with new ideas, new original ideas when I was talking about stuff. Damn, fuck, man. I can't believe I'm just one of the many sheeple animators, or not sheeple animators. What do I say? Sheeple creatives. Anyway, yes.
How dare you not come up with an original idea in this day and age? How dare you?
How dare I? But yeah, definitely.
Or start off by taking some of your favorite scenes or whatnot from something. If you really want to get into the animation, start by taking like some of your favorite scenes and like reanimate it in a certain way. There are plenty of reanimation projects. Wiz, you would know about that. You've had a hand in a good couple of reanimation projects here and there.
Oh yeah, nice segue, by the way.
Thank you.
So yeah, I have again. It's because I took part in the Freaky Fred animation. As the one you're talking about. Now, specifically, puppets. I know one guy. I got into puppet making because I was like, oh, well, I want to do something funny, and I don't want to. I felt at the time that I was like, my animation isn't like the best,
right?
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do puppets. So that courage puppet that you see in that little clip, you can show it up on screen right now. But I built that out of like a tissue box, ping pong boards, and some like chopsticks for the ears, like to prop up with felt, and a sock, a pink sock.
Okay.
So I don't know. Honestly, puppet making is a fun thing, and I want to get back into that at some point. Again, you'd also see like the Dover Boys. That was also a puppet. Literally, that was the first puppet I did. Those were just on sticks.
Yeah, I figured.
And I had to times that against a green screen. I did that in front of a green screen that I had to green screen on that, and I had to use like not Apple window makers, but like if you ever use like iMovie, that's where I used to use a lot. An iMovie is a crap program.
Yes.
There's a very hard limit to what you can do. But you can do a lot of stuff with it. But there is a hard limit to what you can do. You can only have one green screen at all. So you'd have to like do it in a way where, again, you have to prepare stuff to be like, oh, I have to just have one green screen. That's the same thing with the other animations when you see puppets in them. That was done with a green screen, but it's something, I would say.
I mean, it's creative more than anything else, how you've been able to implement it, even with the limitations that you had.
Honestly, I would definitely want to get back into puppet making.
That's
another thing I want to try and upgrade my levels of puppetry, as they say.
Yeah.
If you want, I will also talk about the as a manga reanimated. That's the one that I am the most proud with.
Oh, go on.
So specifically, the scene I did was paper cutouts on them. That was like 30 cutout images of hair that I took like 30 pictures. Like this was like I don't know how many seconds was, but like I each individual picture of that
oh
is
my
a
god
different person. Like that was like a lot of work of me like cutting out like tons of different paper to do that specifically, because it was like, fuck it, I want to do stop motion and I want to do it like well.
Right.
So that was me like spending like countless hours trying to like draw out a picture of what she'd look like the shirt, like each individual, like the level of depth I went into that, like the hair's different, the face different, like this, that took a long time, but I am the most proud of it, I would say.
I mean, I can understand why.
like it. I haven't done one again since, but I definitely want to do something more like that. Yeah, damn it, that was. I'm just looking at it again, but fuck it hell. But yeah, that's my latest reanimated project that I took part in.
I appreciate that, like you tinker with like all these different like styles in one form or fashion, whether it be just like different ways of doing that, like puppetry or like stop motion, or when it comes to the writing, whether it be serious or whether it be silly or whatnot. Like, I appreciate the variety that you put out there when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, is that something that you try to like test yourself with when it comes to this kind of art?
When it comes to art in general, I do like to push myself more than what I'm capable of, because I like having like pushing myself in different ways, trying out new things. Again, the paper thing was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to try it out, see what it's like physically. Because I would suggest, like, I was going to originally do it like totally digital, but someone said like, hey, you should do it physical. You can't beat the real deal. And I was like, sure, I'll do that. And that took a while, but hey, it was worth it at the end. One of the best shots I've done in recent years, I would say.
I mean, it certainly got the job done, and it's not like you've only tinkered with physical puppetry or physical stop motion. Because let's be honest with ourselves, I've been talking to basically a wizard gremlin the entire time. Is that not but virtual puppetry?
Yeah, it is virtual puppetry.
So
I will say, yeah.
No, I was gonna say. Well, I was gonna ask, like, what got you interested in VTubing and stuff like that, or at least using that to like present yourself in the first place?
Oh, okay. So this is a lot of the things that happen start with a joke.
Okay.
A lot of things that happen in my life start with a joke. Well, it was mainly because I don't know if you saw, but like after the first episode of Digital Circus, Goose thought it would be really funny if she tweeted out a tweet to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna cancel Digital Circus if you guys don't follow this guy, my friend WizardzWiz." And that's where I had like a massive amount of followers following me and being like, "Oh, who are you? Oh my god!" And I was like, "Oh god, I have no one. I have nothing to feed them. They're going to die in the winter. I don't know what to do. They're going to starve to death." So it's
don't you just love when your friends just spring on just a bunch of random strangers towards you?
Again, that was again Zoo and Goose did that. It was like a hostile takeover of like, we're gonna make you famous now. It was wild, I would say. I'm gonna be real. I am the nepo baby of this friend group. I will say that, like, if I own it now, there's no one else could like use it against me. But like, that's definitely that on that situation. Hang on, let me get you like an image that like that sums up that whole situation.
The way you were that I am the nepo baby of this situation. Like, good.
No, there it is. This art was made. You can post this up now, but like this was made by my friend Bertha. But like this is what it sums up the situation. This sums up that situation on that.
Oh yeah, I've seen this image before.
Yeah, that's the reason this image exists. As you can see, there's a buggy in this situation. But yeah, that's definitely But yeah, and during that, this was in October, and I was like, fuck, I don't know how to entertain people. Because I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of people here. I don't know what to do. I can't entertain. I don't like. My art was like, I'm again a slow artist. So I was like, oh, I'll make some comics, but like there's one Ruble comic I should talk about Ruble at some point, but that's like a different thing I'll talk about later. But like at the time we were getting up to like the 31st. I was like, I don't know who suggested it. I think Zoo was like, oh, you could just stream, and I was like, fuck it, you know what, I'll do it. And that's where the first Kinger stream came. Well, that's basically, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stream on the 31st to entertain people, and be like, oh look, here we go. And I streamed Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time. So literally my streaming career was born out of that. It became more, it was like, well, I have this community, I'll just entertain them somehow, and streaming's pretty easy. So that's where I became the VTuber. In that first stream, I was Kinger, because like I had asked, hey, what kitty do you think I am of the Digital Circus? And everyone said, Kinger! I was like, oh fuck. So that's why I decided to have like the Kinger avatar in that first stream. I really enjoyed that. Yes.
Oh, it certainly looked like fun, especially the highlights that I saw from it. Also, I just gotta say, I just love the phrase that he says, like, "Yeah, I'll do streaming. That seems easy." Famous last words.
Oh yeah, it's a lot harder than you'd think. Like after the
Right.
year of doing it, it does become a level of like you gotta have like best thing I could advise for people: have a scheduled date when you're streaming
Mm-hmm.
and stream on those days. Like at the end of the day, that's what you're gonna have to like. Uh, that's your bread and butter. I would say stream regularly, stream when you need to. Also, be aware that you will have bad streams. You will have bad streams. You will have tech issues up the arse.
Yes.
Sometimes the best option is to not stream on that day. But like again, you can't. I don't. I wouldn't even say I'm an expert at streaming. I'm literally one of like again a newbie to it. There are other bigger streamers out there, like Zito. He's a good streamer. I'd recommend. Owner of Boutcart. You probably heard him. He's the voice of Scratch.
Yeah,
Please,
I've heard of him. I've been meaning to get in touch with them, see if I can get them on the podcast as well.
definitely, you could definitely get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'd recommend.
I had the voice of I had Jacob Barons on the podcast. Zito shouldn't be too much of a
Jacob.
scratch. Yeah, right.
Oh, good. I know Jacob.
Yeah.
Shit, I love Jacob. He's a good guy.
Jacob is so sweet.
He's a nice lad. Again, I know Jacob as well. But yeah. What else did I want to say? But yeah, that's how I got into streaming, and I've been streaming recently with my friends. That's how I made. That's how I've streamed with like NCS. I've streamed with Dandy's been on the stream. Fucking again Zeurel, who throws peanuts on my face every time we stream. That's the level. And yeah, like also theme guy, Hemanko, Berrana. Those are my regular stream guests. It's become again a collaborative thing. Honestly, I just talk to people, talk to my friends on stream. It's become like I guess like a podcast. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't say a podcast. It's more like me. I stream games or do art. It's allowed me to do more art that I've liked. I would say.
Right.
Streaming, so. Yeah.
And none of this is like the vibes I've certainly gotten when watching like your streams or like the highlights or whatnot. It's like it's just you messing around with friends. Like it's like especially everyone in chat. It's just like we're all good friends. We're all here and we're all just to see you absolutely fail at like buckshot roulette or amnesia or whatever it may be. You know.
Yeah. Again, best editor I had was Shocks. That the person who edited my videos on that. He's a good lad, I would say. But yeah.
So
excellent.
So the streaming became like a major part of it or whatnot. So when did you decide to incorporate again the wizard goblin model that we have before you today?
Oh God. Okay. So again, so this was given to me by Apollo.
Okay.
Well, like, so I had like I was drawing like I was working with different models for the most. This is the newest one. The one you see right now was made by Apollo, and he's like he's good at what he does when it comes to like animation.
Right.
Animation like V. I'll give you a link to his socials so you can just like please put it up right now. He's very good. He's like criminally underrated. I'd recommend him. But before this. I was using my 2D VTuber, like a PNG YouTuber. That's what we call them.
Right.
Much. So that's what I was using. It was drawn by me. I think I used what was the one I used? I used specifically Vendotube. I don't know if that's how you call it.
Vtube or whatnot. It's like VEAO.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. That's the one I used. And the reason I'm having this avatar right now is specifically because Apollo gave it to me.
Okay.
And I feel bad. Because like they were like, "Oh, just make this for you for fun," and I was like, "Oh, what the fuck? What do you mean you just made this for me?" I don't know. Again, I get so many people give you stuff, and I feel guilty every time. But that's why I have the avatar you see me before today, and I am working with them. I am going to work with them to upgrade it, and again, obviously pay him this time for this stuff because he honestly needs more money than anything. But yeah, that's why I have this avatar you see before me.
Right. I didn't know how much of an influence, like, say the previous like wizard stuff was beforehand or whatnot, into like having how you present yourself or whatnot.
So like the way I present myself as WizardzWiz is again. when I was in Zoo's old streams,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I have to make them know that I'm the guy who made those two little wizards. So that's why I typed the username Wizards with a Z, and I was like, oh, there it is. So the name Wiz kind of stuck, I would say. And I wasn't always a goblin, but like I was just like this white wizard guy, which was like didn't really fit my energy.
Right.
The goblin thing happened more in 2020 or something. That's how it developed. Again, that was like the newer designs, I would say. But yeah, Wiz is definitely would be related to Willenbat.
There you
that's
go.
that's where this whole wizard thing comes from, I would say. Yeah.
Honestly, that's extremely valid. And I mean, hey, the Goblin thing, I mean, certainly worked out for the end, considering the fact that you were nominated at one point for some award ceremony to being Goblin of the Year.
Fuck. That was part of the joke. That was like a year before. I think that was was I streaming at that time? No, I wasn't streaming at that time. It was specifically because I was like, we saw like this little thing where it was like, oh, Goblin of the Year sort of thing. It was someone else was doing it, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just apply to myself to this. I'll fucking throw my hat to the ring. Again, I got 4th place, I think, on that. I don't know what it, but like it was a bunch of like big titted VTuber goblins, short stacks and stuff. So I was like, fuck it, I'll throw my hands in the ring. I'm gonna show my little guy energy. Here we go. I even made like a comic for it as well.
Yeah, I remember seeing that comic. That's why I was referencing it more than anything else.
Yeah, that's how I did that comic. That was mainly a joke to be a part of that. So
I mean, you say it was a joke, but again, you got 4th place. That's saying something.
Well, a community vote, yeah. Again, but yeah, I was hoping they did it again this year, but that was like a while ago. But like, yeah, that's where that comes from, definitely.
That's valid. And honestly, like I gotta say, like, you know, I love that little goblin, gremlin, wizard energy that you bring when it comes to your streams. Like it leads me to wonder, like, obviously you've been streaming for, like you said, like well over a year or so at this point. Like, you had to have like a personal like favorite stream or a favorite moment that you've had whenever you stream so far.
Well, I would say that my personal favorite streams have been like either the art streams where I just generally talk to my friends about bullshit, or the Halloween streams that I did this year that I haven't posted, but I will. Those were like I mean, they're up on the Twitch, but those are pretty good. Also, I guess if you want to say like another good stream would be the Gatsby streams on Twitch.
Ooh.
If it's the Indigo Park stream. If you know who I'm talking about, Gatsby, who's again who's one of my friends. Not Gatsby, but Gatsby. Do you know who Taxi is? Hang on.
I'll say Taxi, as in like Rebel Taxi or whatnot, or different.
Debu. Hang on, let me just give you a link to their VOD. 1 second. The Taxi Rebel. That's like bad at names.
Okay.
Tassie.
Okay.
That's they game designer Tapsy, and also they're also currently working with Toby Fox on Deltarune.
Oh, that's incredible! What?
Actually, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's where that comes from. Yes. Sorry again for like bragging, but that's I would recommend if you wanted to see like I did collab with them.
Okay.
Again, when it came to Gatsby, you probably see as if you've seen like the shorts on my YouTube, that's where that comes from.
Okay.
Thing. So if you want to check that out, that's probably on the Twitch VOD. You'd probably find on there. But just still gotta figure out how to do it. Yes. Hopefully that helps.
It certainly does help. I mean, honestly, like just seeing some of the moments. I will say personally, I watched in preparation to this. I watched the Buckshot Roulette video that you posted about a month or so ago or whatnot, and like just the chaos that like stream alone devolved into or whatnot. Like I understand the whole entire like friend vibes that you were talking about, but like seeing some of the like the cool moments or like seeing some of the art you've been able to put forth as well, especially on some of those streams, like it's really impressive. Like how well you not only get to, how much of a welcome environment you bring for the people that you bring on, but like for your chat as well. Like I said, you've only been streaming for, like you said, like over a year and such. Like it's gotta be really impressive to you to think that like at this point you've kind of gotten a good grip and a good comfort zone when it comes to these streams.
I've gotten it's gotten easier, I would say, because like at the beginning it was like very stressful for the most part. That's yeah, that was like one of my biggest things when it came to that kind of stuff. Like it was like a very, oh god, my brain's losing my thought. Like literally, again, collaboration was a big part of that. A lot of friends helped me through that. Again, my assets like Hermanko helped me with that, Bedrunner, and Shocks, who edited the video. It's, again, I wouldn't be anywhere without my friends on that, but I am glad that I have been able. Like, I'm honestly shocked that I'm able to be welcoming, or at least nice. I'm glad people watch the fucking streams. That's the thing I enjoy. Like, even if there's like about like 10 people watching, that's like good enough. I know I get nervous. I know there was a point in my pit of that time that was like, oh, I want to get partner. Oh wait, you need this to get how much to get partner? Oh fuck, that's gonna be forever. So at that point, it was it's at least now it's slowly become more about like, fuck it, I don't care if I ever get partner. I'm just gonna have fun.
Yeah,
which was the thing for the most part. Yes.
I mean, it certainly helps with the collaborations with the people that you've been able to have alongside with you, like that we've already illustrated, those friends you've had since early on. And it's also really cool when those friends also get you involved in some of their own stuff, which leads me to ask, obviously, of one of the biggest opportunities you've been able to have, and that is providing a voice for the amazing Digital Circus. Now, I have to ask this. What was it like providing the voice for Kaufma? Because I know that's lost media. No, I'm joking. You
want the joke answer or the real answer?
I want to hear the joke answer. Let's go for it.
There's a lot of swearing, a lot of bad things. You know, there's a lot of issues and anger in the booth. We had to cut the Jack's making out with Kaufma scene like a lot of times.
Oh my god!
Like, yeah, that was too sensual.
GOOSEWORX, come on! That's what we want to see.
No.
Give the people what they want.
It was all the swears I did that Kaufma had that we had. It was lost media at this point.
They could censor it. They censored it. They censored
the too much. It's too much. It would literally be white noise at that point. But yeah. Now, you want to ask me about Ghostly, right?
Yeah, of course I want to ask you about Ghostly, because it honestly, like, I whenever going into that episode, I wasn't sure what kind of characters we were going to be introduced to, but honestly, Ghostly was just a beautiful, like, bright energy in that really, really fun, but also really intense episode at times. So what was it like providing... It was a great episode. So what was it like providing a voice for that character? How did you even get the opportunity to provide the voice for that character?
Well, specifically, Goose was like, hey, Wiz, you want to be part of this new show thing? And I was like, sure. That's how that happened.
Okay.
This is, again, very much like... so it's not as grand. But this was, again, before we knew Digital Circus was going to be like a multi-million, but like, you know, billion... Not property, but like, this is before we knew Digital Circus was going to be this big.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
this was before you guys knew, oh, there's something here, and people really like it.
I didn't. I was expecting gooseworx to be successful. I didn't expect it to be this successful. So I was like, fuck it. Sure, I'll put my hand to the ring. So it's a funny story, again, how I got that role. Or at least the trials and tribulations for that whole situation. Because I needed to get a good mic for that recording. Because at the time, I had a crap mic and I didn't have anywhere to like record or anything. I needed a better mic, an XL mic, like a Scarlett Focus with the XL like port. So basically, my friend Zeurel was like, "Oh fuck, you gotta upgrade your tech, idiot. Here you go. I'm gonna send you my old like Scarlett to for this." Now the problem was it's an electronic device being sent from America
to England.
To England. we didn't judge customs. We didn't expect customs to be such a fucking awesome shithead. It literally took months. It got to the point, like, I went on holiday and I was so panicked that it was going to arrive because I had, like, a message on my phone that was like, oh, so a package is arriving. It's like, oh, shit. Oh, no, I'm going to be so panicked. I was so panicked the whole time. Turns out, the thing that was coming was the Beebs plush that I had ordered.
Oh.
So it wasn't even the Scarlet, but it came to the point where I had to buy a Scarlet. It came quicker. I did the recordings with Goose, and then I sent that back, and then it took like fucking 3 months for the Scarlet to come to me. The one that I'm using today, which is the one that Zoo gave me. Again,
Right.
literally, if you have to say anything, Zoo has been my biggest supporter out of anything.
I can tell.
He's a good lad, and I think he deserves the world. Honestly, I'm a ride or die of that man. Honestly, but like, oh my god, I don't know if he's ever gonna watch this pod, but like, he's definitely gonna be like, wow, Wiz, why the fuck are you talking about me? I'm like, oh fuck, sorry, Zoo, I didn't have anything to talk about, so I had to talk about you. Hi, Zoo, if you're watching this, by the way. But yeah. Honestly, and then literally I was on the floor just recording this with this mic, being like, haha, it's me, Ghostly, and it was like a full, like, I guess I did it in like May when I did the recordings, like May 2023. I think that's when I did it. And the episode, when did it air? We aired in like
it came out in October 2024, this past year.
Yeah, that was I recorded like a full year in advance when it came to the first episode. So
yeah,
very fun, I would say. But yeah, honestly, Ghostly was like a good part on that.
And seeing how many people not only just like love that little clip, but like how crazy they've gone for it with all the fan art that they've created and such. Like it's gotta be insane to think that like this little moment that you had, and people are just going crazy over it.
Like honestly, I was very excited. I mean, that's kind of why I've been like eager. It's nice. I was eager for that episode. I was excited for the episode for the longest time to be like, oh shit, it's my moment. There we go. And then
this is my moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And here you are after all this time, and again, people just they can't get enough of the little guy.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fun little time.
Absolutely. Now, I'm wondering, considering the fact that, this was you helping Goose out, was this how you were able to get a foot in the door when it came to Glitch Productions in general, and thus get an opportunity to write with SMG4 as well?
So specifically, I don't know how connected it is.
Okay.
I am also kind of in the dark about that.
Fair enough.
My theory is actually, that April Fool's video I made?
Yes, the one about the hidden episodes or whatnot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, specifically, the reason I made that was because, as you can see, like, I was talking to Zoo, like October of when the first Digital Circus episode came out, and we were going down memory lane because, like, the Rocky City was coming to its, like 10th year anniversary. I was like, oh fuck, remember the times, remember the good old times. And Zoo was like, hey fuck, Zoo, why haven't we made more of this kind of fucking bullshit together? We should do more. We should do that again. And I was like, yeah, sure. So that's when I wrote that episode. For like, fuck it, you know what? I need to bounce this off. What's the current thing that my friends are making? Oh yeah, Goose is making Digital Circus. I'll just make a joke thing like that. So that's why the writing energy is where I came from. If you see like the paradox, the Paradog thing that I posted earlier, that's where that humor comes from. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna write an episode and it's gonna be fun. I didn't realize that I wrote too many. It was too long. So I asked again my friends to be like, hey, I need some help. Like, would anyone like to do these other things? And that's where that episode came. I was really nervous about one joke in that episode, specifically when Jax was like alone in the room and he was like, well,
time to live up to my name.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And that was one of the jokes that was so worried specifically. So that's posted. I think it gets back to the crew of Glitch. They see that. They see that at some point. now, about like a few months now, back in December of like last year, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to like apply for a writing position because there was a writing position going. I was already like working in the skateboard, man. I was getting sick of my fucking job there because it
I
was
don't
fucking
I
awful.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you
Yeah.
one bit. All right, as someone that
No.
still works an IRL job, I don't blame you one
Yeah.
bit.
No, it's less about being retail. It's more about being an entertainer, which worked for me. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it for the most part, but it was really then like really like outliving its welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I applied to work at Glitch as a script writer, and I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to get the job. But then I hear back, and they were like, "Oh shit, we want to hear your like, by your like, a test writing." I was like,
Okay.
"Oh yeah, fuck, I'll do it." So I write a test episode, and that's how I got hired. And I think specifically, it was not only because of the joke animation I did with the April Fool's joke. I think that was part of it. That was one of the things I did, especially like the storyboards I did. That's what they were like. Oh yeah, we want to see more of that, Wiz. That you're very good at doing like storyboards and like funny jokes.
Oh
And
yeah.
being quick and fast. So that content was also what I think was also again like they really enjoyed that. So I think that may have been part of the reason as well. And again, maybe I was also like they knew me because I was like a voice actor. That was like a good thing. But also it was the comics I put in my portfolio.
There you go.
That they literally said, "We love your writing here." Honestly, like, and that's when I say specifically, like, even you never know what you do just for fun is gonna like come back around. Like, honestly, like that's when I like at the beginning, like, here we got foreshadowing. That's what like building up to this part. Because at the end of the day, just putting stuff out there, that's how you get noticed, honestly. And you shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes and stuff. And you never know where that's gonna lead. Like everything, yeah. That's how, and that's why that's how I'm working with Glitch. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's fun fact because specifically when you contacted me on this, I was strict on the NDA to not talk about it. So you put, I don't know if you knew when you contacted me, but I was like at that point I was like, oh shit, he's gonna have a fun idea when he realizes I'm also working for Glitch at some point. So that was fun.
I didn't know until you had posted recently talking about, oh yeah, I guess I'm doing this now. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah. So that's a fun little thing. That's a fun little coinkydink, I would say.
If nothing else, I feel like it's a cool, like, kind of a full circle moment in a way, because, like, here you are, again, like the foreshadowing we talked about beforehand, but, like, again, you start off with, like, these comics or whatnot, and, like, the shitposty silly stuff at the beginning or whatnot. You actually go to college you go to uni, I should say, to become a writer. You go, taking the English course and then, the creative writing and stuff. And here you are, years later, using that degree to make shitposty stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely has that happened.
If that is not a full circle moment, someone needs to rewrite the definition of it. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's got to be really cool thing. Like, even like taking a step back and thinking to all the stuff that we had talked about, like your art journey as a whole, from where you had started, like actually feeling more welcome and feeling more open about doing this kind of stuff, to again, here you are right now having so many different hands and so many different fingers and so many different aspects of the entertainment industry, whether it be, like I said, being the artist, being a writer, a voice actor, streaming, all this different kind of stuff. It's got to be amazing how far you've been able to progress as an artist. Like, does it blow your mind, or is it at least surreal to think, wow, I've come this far?
Yes, I would say it is surreal. I don't honestly believe I deserve half the stuff I have right now, but hey, I do have it now, so it is interesting. I would say it is a weird, surreal moment to be where I am now as a writer for SG4. Like, that's like, fuck, I always wanted to be a writer for a show, and here I am working at an indie project.
Yeah,
pretty much. Not indie project. It's like it's one of it. It's mid indie, I would say. So that's pretty fun, honestly. and like I feel vindicated, I think, most of the time for how far I've got. But yeah, on that situation.
I
And
mean,
like,
sorry, you go ahead. You go ahead. My
no,
bad.
I specifically I was gonna say is that like it's always good to be well rounded when it comes to
Yes.
being a creator. You gotta try things out, make mistakes, try whatever you want to do on that. Mm.
Absolutely. Trust me,
Yes.
I'm trying to be a bit more well rounded on my end when it comes to being a creative. If nothing else, like one of the things I want to do is I want to try to be a voice actor more and more because like I feel like I have a solid voice. I'm able to throw expressions out there. No, but like it's something I've had a few opportunities here and there. The biggest thing for me is I need to just like sit down and finally make a like demo reel because that's the one thing I've been like procrastinating on for like years at this point.
Yeah. Definitely. Like, again, what you need to do is you gotta get equipment. Like again, an XLR is a good place to start, and a good mic, and then maybe have like a closet to record your stuff in. You definitely have had this like. Probably like Alex told you this already because he's more of like a on Jacob or Alex. Basically, just do what they go watch those pods again.
Yes.
And listen to their advice. That's like I can't. I mean, like I'm still much of a newbie to this whole situation, but like get a good booth, get a good headset, get a good mic or whatever, and just like start and just take any project you want to do. Like either Andy or friend. Same rules apply when it comes to like getting out there. Have fun mainly. That's the thing I would say.
Absolutely. Although I gotta say, what's wrong with my microphone? No.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it does also lead me to wonder. Like, again, you've had these like cool opportunities, and you're getting the chance to do more and more with the new audience and stuff, like with eyes on you and stuff like that. It does lead me to wonder because you kind of tease like, oh, I would like to dip my hand in this again, or I'd like to dip my hand in that again. Is there a personal project of yours that if you had the opportunity right now to just like drop everything and focus on that, you'd like to pick up again, or like pick up that you've wanted to try to like get off the ground and just be like, I'm making this next, people?
Like, well, I do have plans to make something. Like, I don't want to say too much because that's the thing about me. Like, I like to like say things when I have things like physically manifested.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind making my own like indie project, or at least like my own animation, or at least like my own foray into something, whether it be a comic or like a show or not show or whatever. Like that would be my dream. Like if I could like make like even if it's just a short, would be my goal.
Okay.
Honestly. Because like that's what I would say on that stuff. There's a lot of things I have brewing in my mind. It's just picking up one and just sticking with it. It's the hard part.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's extremely valid. The cursed creativity of a creator, of a creative a content creator. Yeah, a creative mind more than anything else. It's like we have all these ideas. How do we focus on one?
Yes, exactly. You got it.
Goodness. Well, if I may, for this next question, well, I'll make it at least a little bit easier for you to be able to focus on one of those things and give you, Wiz, more or less the dream scenario, if I may. Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come up to him like, look, Wiz, we've seen what you've been able to do, and we are genuinely impressed. Like the way you're able to present yourself, the opportunities you've had to have. We know there's something here. We know that there's something creative that you can unleash onto the world. You just need a little extra boost, a little extra platform to get you to that point. We have access to everyone and anyone in whatever industry possible, and more money than should be possible. You really should be focusing on the animators right now. You know, make sure that they got all the stuff that they need. You know, good healthcare, stuff like that. Hashtag Stand with Animation. We'll focus on them in a little bit. We promise. But right now, we are focusing on you and you alone. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream WizardzWiz project?
Oh, that's a hard one. Well, I would basically probably talk about my I have two.
Okay.
Technically free. I would probably make a story about Will and Bat mainly.
Okay.
That would probably be my dream. Another dream I would say I would if they could make me multiple movies, but like if I could make one, there is a story like that features a character named Melanie that I've been working for the last few years in
Okay.
my head space. As again, it's like a steampunk project where it's like, oh, it's like in like a kind of like Victorian England kind of
Right.
like AU steampunk weird like mysticism and like post like what do you say like your classic what's it, industrial revolution period piece.
Okay. Yep.
As a mix between fantasy magic but also like mystery and like kind of like spooky levels of things, so that it'd probably be like an adventure style. Honestly, that would be my dream thing to do, like a project like that, basically set in like in a very dark but also a bit silly, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Again, you probably may see a collaboration comic in the thing where there's a character called the Wizardpalooza Part 1. It would basically be that, but more, at least that first part of that comic. But it would basically me wanting to explore Melanie as a character and just basically be more of a serious kind of like story, but in depth on something like that. That's what I would want to do.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we give you both in a sense of how about we start by making an animation studio for you so you can be able to do all those projects and then some.
Well, I mean that would be pretty cool to have, honestly.
Yeah.
I would probably make 3 major projects. I mean, I have 3 major ideas at least at the moment.
Well, there you go.
And if that would probably be there's a few. Sorry, but like honestly, that would probably be my dream to do on that. Like either working with something of the characters I've been living with for the past few years that I've made, just showing that my creativity, my writing skill to people over stuff, and also hiring my friends.
Absolutely.
On them. That would be my goal with any of this. On that, because I have a lot of friends I would love to give work to on that. Haha, hee hee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, we've already talked about a good chunk of them earlier on or whatnot. I mean, especially the ones that are able to go out there and also like create their own platforms themselves and do some incredible stuff as is. Like you've certainly got a lot of creative friends at the end of the day that deserve that love and support on their own.
Exactly. But yeah, like I don't know how like talking about projects is like very hard for me when I think about it, because what goes into a project is like there's a lot of things you could just talk about what you'd want, but it is about like sitting down and actually trying to like, okay, right, here's what's gonna actually happen, gonna happen. So like it's at the end of the day, I would want to make something. It doesn't matter what it is. It just has to be something. Like even if it's not the ideas I've said to you just now, the dream would just to be make anything something that I feel that I would like, that I would like to do. Honestly, if that makes sense.
No, honestly, no. It completely makes sense more than anything else. At the end of the day, like it especially with what you're talking about, like it's one thing to say you want to do something; it's another thing to actually go forth and do it. Because I struggle with that as well. There's been at least a good couple of ideas that I've wanted to like tinker with, wanted to do or whatnot. But again, like saying you want to do it, like one of the funniest ideas that I still want to get the opportunity to do at some point in the near future is I want to make a podcast series, specifically about, those like, the true Hollywood stories or whatnot about like the superstars that like, that they have their rise and their falls, like they fall into harsh times or whatnot. I want to do something like that. But the main character is specifically a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tooth man.
I see.
And like have like the seriousness of like the story like that, but again they're talking about like one of these things, just waving their arms around, like having like the dad's very serious to talking about like, I should have known my son would be getting into helium. I was getting into that whenever I was in high school or whatnot. It's like silly stuff like that. That's an idea that I've tinkered with, but I just need to like sit down and actually like do it.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so if the answer to that was a bit more of like, oh, you got all this stuff, Wiz, what would you do? And I'd be like, I'll get back to you like over the weekend. So it's like literally my honest reaction if someone came up to me and be like, what would you want to make? Immediately outside, It would also depend if I would have the rights to the stuff I would.
Oh, you would absolutely. You would like in this scenario with Mr. Moneybags. You would obviously own the rights no matter what happens.
Okay. All right. Well, then I would probably still take like a weekend to be like, I'll get back to you.
Yeah, like
that would literally be my answer.
Get a concrete plan to go forth before you just like, all right, let's go ahead, let's start this, let's start production on this.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's the same because there's like production is like is one hell of a drug. Like theoretically things is like like what I've learned from again working alone with my own projects and my own jokey like shitposting comics and working with like SMG4 for example.
Yeah,
there is a lot of people involved. It is a collaborative work. Like the thing I make is transformed in a way through the animators and like the directive decisions of the show. Like a production line is like very important. Like if you want to like go to like stuff like Monkey Wrench, the Juicers, like Lackadaisy, you have to consider the production line. The production line is what makes and breaks like that level of show. That's why I say do a comic, because at the end of the day, that's the production line ends and starts with you.
Yes.
That's because so that's what I would say. Like on that level, like you can't jump into the big deep end to be like, I'm a new creator, I'm gonna make a production studio. Like that's a lot of fucking issues. There's a lot of things you gotta consider in that situation. It's a lot of whack.
Yes.
Honestly, especially nowadays when you need to make merch and stuff to do stuff, which I honestly wish wasn't a thing. But again, that's the reality of the situation we live in nowadays. You got to make money to keep the roof over your heads, and also your animators paid.
Yep.
And all that stuff, which is very important.
It's very important.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling again.
No.
Yeah.
I've said before, and I'll say it again. I've encouraged the rambling, and it's been leading to some really good conversation. Genuinely.
Yes, good. I'm glad. This is probably the most rambly guest you've ever had on the
podcast. It's up there.
But yeah, definitely. Like, what were we talking about again?
we were talking. We were talking about like the different ideas that you had, and like you had said lastly that like. Especially when it comes to, like, the production timeline or whatnot. Like, obviously, unfortunately in today's climate, especially in the indie space or whatnot, you have to make money in order to, like, pay your animators and stuff. So
yeah, again, start small when it comes to this stuff. And also don't be, like, a lot of things take a lot of time to make. Like, you are going to be, if you're going to stick with an idea, you have to like that idea. You have to, it has to be a very passionate idea. You can't, like, this is the thing that my friends keep saying to me. Stick with the idea that you want to do and then be with it, because you're going to be with that idea for about years.
Yes.
When it comes to, like, making things. And, like, I know the fucking head goblin in your head being like, oh, you get something out right now. Get something now. You gotta get it now. We gotta get it yesterday. We gotta get this project done in a week. Like that's the headspace that, like, I know is like, it's not a race. Like, honestly, don't treat indie animation as a race to be the best. Like, that's not how you should view it. I know there's like a human tendency to like be like, oh, we gotta race to be the best, or be part of the cool kids club. Like, I want to be part of the cool kids club. Like, you're never, like, if you think like that, you're never gonna succeed, or at least you're not gonna be happy when you succeed.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, at the very least, you have to like consider what you want to do, and like what. At the end of the day, that's the only critic you need to care about. You shouldn't care about, like, fans. Who gives a shit about fans? That's my opinion. I'm sorry, fans.
As I say, you should care about them, but you shouldn't, like, take their words as gospel at the end of the day.
You shouldn't pander to them. I mean. Like, you shouldn't. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be like, oh, well, I should change it because they don't seem to like it, or I should do this because this is, like, it's your idea. That's the thing. It's your idea. They don't know what they want. they're gonna, the people who are your true fans are gonna be the ones who stick with you with all your fucking ideas.
Yes.
Like even the bad ones. That's my opinion on that. I'm very passionate about that idea.
You should be. Everyone
yes.
should be.
Yes. Yeah. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fucking. What am I even talking about? I'm just rambling. Basically, I don't know. I feel like I've been talking for how long have I been talking for? I feel like I've been talking for like about like an hour or two.
Oh, we've been like last time I checked, we've been recording for about 2 hours up to this point. So.
Fucking hell! Jesus Christ! Fucking! That was fucking probably logged off right now. Fucking hell! Why are we listening to this little guy ramble so much about bullshit? He's not even an Adam. Who's this guy? And it was like they clicked the thumbnail. Oh, wait, who? What's the postmodern art talking about today? Oh, this guy, this fucker. Wait, why does he know so many people that I like gooseworx and like this other fucking people? Like Jesus Christ. Is he funny even? Oh my god, I can't believe he's not even funny.
No, he's funny.
Jesus,
I can tell you right now, he's funny.
He's funny? Wow, really? Wow. I'm just gonna leave a comment like, why did you just like interview fucking like fucking Zoo? Why isn't he on the podcast? Why isn't fucking like fucking Vivzy? Where the fuck is fucking I don't know in gooseworx? That's the person I care about. Fuck it, where's Goose? That's probably asking for. Oh fuck man. Sorry, I'm just
no.
I'm very.
You were a gem and an absolute delight, and I'm so glad I got a chance to do this with you.
Yeah, I like being a dirtbag. Okay, that's what I like to do when it comes to people. This is hour 3 when I'm being a bit like a spicy little shithead. That's what I'm doing. Yeah,
well, if I may, for the next question, Jesus. Sadly, we gotta get down from that dream scenario that I was asking about earlier. We gotta get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so generic question: where do you hope to see yourself in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
5 to 10 years, making stuff, probably having my own show and or comic or whatever the fuck, working with my friends mainly on things. Basically, still being in contact with all my friends. That's the main thing I want to be. Like, I guess. Either streaming or making more things, or making perhaps like my own show.
There you go.
That would probably be my dream. That's my current goal in my head. Like I am working with Glitch, so who knows? Maybe you'll see me making something. We'll see what that is. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but who knows what I'll be making in the next 10 years? But I'd want to be doing it with my friends. Is what I know. At the end of the day, like that's at the end of the day, if I'm making things with my friends, that's more I can ask for, honestly.
I think that's all we can ever ask for, especially with, again, the list of friends that you've had and how much they've been able to help you out up to this point. No. Like the least, I imagine the least you want to do is try to give that back in some form or fashion.
No, definitely. In which case, I'm going to start calling them out right now.
Go for it.
Specifically, first one I'm going to call out right now is Bed Runner. That's and his comic OMG, The Scars of War, which is a webtoon that people need to fucking read. It's criminally underrated. I definitely recommend that little show. That's by Bed Runner. You could probably get that on Blue Sky. The next person I want to shout out is Theme Guy. He's fucking funny. He's one of the funniest persons that I've known. Also, again, Bed is one of the best animators I've known. He's fucking great. You should fucking follow him on Blue Sky, honestly. Get him on the pod.
I'll work on it.
And you also have Theme Guy, who is also making another comic called Mage X Witch. It's a new comic that he's updating weekly. It's a fun little thing. Let me give you the link for that.
Yes,
but like
please.
Mage X Witch is like it's a lovely little comic. It's very sweet, very nice, and also like funny, I would say. Definitely put the graphics for these shows on.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Trust me. I'm keeping this in mind. And they're gonna be flashing up whenever we talk about this.
Yeah,
so I got you covered.
Definitely. That's working. Yeah, Theme Guy, definitely should recommend that. Another person that you should follow is my friend Hamanko Leopold. He is a very underrated artist. He's made one of the greatest things. He's made some like icons for me, like my overlay as well for my Twitch. He is a phenomenal artist, and I feel like he does not get enough recognition for what he does as an art. Like, he's one of my oldest friends as well. I think he needs to. I'm just giving him a shout out for that as well. He's a good lad, so definitely recommend like checking out him and co. Follow him on Blue Sky. I would say. And the biggest shout out I would say is Zeurel Monkey Wrench, which was made by Nito, Tito, and Zeurel. Both great artists and storytellers. I'd recommend, please check out Monkey Wrench. There's definitely more things to come. Episode 5 is going to be out eventually, but I'd definitely get people to look in that direction, because a lot of interesting stuff that he's making. And yeah, that's my shout out. That's the least I could do, because he's such a good lad he's shouted me out a lot. So yeah, go follow Zeurel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Those are wonderful shout outs, and they all deserve that love and support, especially the next 5 to 10 years, whenever you show that love and support back to them for all that they've given to you and then some.
Yes, exactly.
And if you guys are wondering where to find all these people, trust me, I'll be sure to have all these links that Wiz has just sent me in the description below, so you guys can find this stuff and give it that love and support as well. As we start to wind down the interview, I just have one last question I mainly want to ask you, Wiz. Obviously, you are deeply entrenched in art in one form or fashion at this point. With all the, like I said before, with all the different hands you have and all these different projects and all these different opportunities you've been given, that you've earned, I should say.
Yeah.
How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Oh God, I mean, I could go into a lot of words about how important art is in general. I would say that if you guys don't think art is important, you're stupid, is what I would say. But honestly, art is an important facet of our culture, our life expressions. I would say that even the most worst story you could read or write has value. Making things is value. Honestly, now more than ever, personal expression is more important. I think it's more important to have something that's from the heart rather than something that's chasing a trend or for for AI bullshit. That's I know we're gonna get into this whole debate. You've probably had this big debate about art, AI in general, because that's a big hot topic.
I'll say I wouldn't call it a debate, just a general discussion, because the debate would be if someone says that AI is worth it, which for the art field, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't want to preach to the choir on that, because if you're here, you know what my stance is on that.
Yep.
Definitely. Honestly, and I think it's just the fact of the matter is, in general, I think commodifying art is an issue that's been an issue for the longest time. That's why we're here in general. It's been a long time coming when it comes to big companies, and the stuff that people like, the stuff that that does numbers aren't the big box office hits. They aren't the things that make the most money on the big screen. Those aren't the shows or the things that we treasure the most. The Iron Giant, that flopped immensely in studios, but it's one of the classics that everyone goes back to. It's a gem, and you can't art in a perfect world. Art would be void for money. We would not live in a capitalist centric hellscape we're living right now. As you said, you are the postmodern podcast. I'm gonna get pretty postmodern because that's the thing I learned at uni.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, art is a self-expression of the human soul. It's I can fucking get fucking out talking about my ass and sniff my own farts now. But specifically, make things that you want to make. I'm talking to you, viewer. Do whatever you want to make. Whatever you think is cool, that's cool. You should follow it. You shouldn't just follow a trend. You shouldn't just be oh, I want to be the next big thing. Fuck that. Be what you want to be. Make what you want to make. And if people come, they come and they're going to enjoy it. And then that's how you're going to build up your own little community. Doesn't even have to be the biggest community. Who gives a shit what the common consumer wants? Get what the fucking you want. Fuck making fuck the algorithm, fuck like making money, even though it is important at some level. But like at the end of the day, art is the most important thing in this world, and like we should be able to criticize it. We should be able to discuss it. We shouldn't have like basically big like what's the best and what's the not the. It's a big thing. Like you can say like fucking every fucking like I'm gonna say bad words now, but like specifically like fucking make things is what I would say. And like who gives a shit what anyone thinks of what you do? And just like it's the most like fuck, I'm just rambling. I'm getting on my soapbox. I'm getting on my soapbox so fucking high. I'm talking about it. I'm talking to you. I'm preaching to people. Art's the most important thing. Like if we let big companies dictate how we view art, like if we let them like shut down the fucking internet or whatever the fuck, we're just gonna have the same crap again and again and again and again. That's why people are gravitating towards the indie space. And for God's sake, I don't want the indie space to be a reflection of the fucking creative industry. That's what I fear at any point. Like I don't want this to be mini Hollywood 2. Right. That's what I don't want, because that's the thing that would be like horrible. I would rather it to be like classic, just having fun, doing what you want to do. Like, sure, you make money, that's good. It's everyone's gonna fucking eat, but like it shouldn't be an ivory tower. I don't want to make the indie space like a closed off club. It shouldn't be like that, because I think that would be a big negative in my opinion when it comes to that. Like, as a community, we should be willing to like uplift people you don't talk about. We shouldn't be praising people's successes. We should also be uplifting the people who are lower than us in the same, because everyone starts somewhere. Yes. No one starts as like a big name person. Like literally like and this is the thing that irritates me when it comes to like discussions or when there's big name people talking about stuff. Like you can talk about all the negative stuff that's happening in the industry. You can talk about all the fucking AI bullshit that's happening on, and like have videos about that constantly or whatever the fuck. But if you're not talking about new and upcoming indies, you are dragging the community down. You don't talk about in general people. I don't know, just like there are so many fucking like I'm hosting like a little show like later this week where I'm talking about indies and stuff, and it's amazing that we don't have enough people doing that. It's like there are so few people out there with big platforms talking about this little guys. Like I'm glad what you're doing. You're talking about like people, and I appreciate that. That's why I've been like, I appreciate what you do when it comes to like, talking about people. Like that's at the end of the day, that's what I feel when it comes to like the indie stuff. I'm sorry I've got very like emotional.
No. You do not ever need to apologize, because I feel the same exact way, and I can tell that you have a true love and care and passion for this industry and for creatives and for people just having fun at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you should just make art for making art's sake. You shouldn't try to make it, I don't know, it is what it is. Yeah. But like, I know this is me being like an ideal dream of the whole indie space. That's like an ideal dream. We still have to defeat capitalism to get the true dream of art, of the artist. Is if we get rid of that, that's how we, again, postmodern bullshit. You can't do anything in a void. But like, again, it's all like interconnecting. Oh god, I'm fucking rambling. Oh, I'm fucking using my degree out of here. Fucking hell, what the fuck am I even talking about? What the fuck's this little shithead on the stream shouting about? Who the fuck is he? Anyway, he fucking writes for SMG4. What the fuck is he doing up here preaching about art? But like, literally, like, I don't know. Yeah, that's my opinion. Like, art is the most important thing in the world, I will say, honestly.
As rambly as it may seem, I think it is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself.
Thank you. I'm glad you think it's been wonderfully worded, because I think I was talking out my ass on behalf of it.
Look, I never said it had to be pre-planned, all right? Sometimes talking out of your ass is the eloquent way to go about it, all right? That's all the questions that I have for you, Wiz. I've already showered you with a whole bunch of praise, but I want to shower you with a little bit more, because it's my podcast. I do what the fuck I want.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh no, you are most certainly welcome. I just wanted to start off by saying, first off, thank you for showing the love to this podcast in the first place. I know I already said that like towards the beginning, but honestly, like ever since I posted the Alex Rashawn episode, just kind of seeing you showcasing that love back to this podcast and helping spread the word about it, what little bit you can here and there and whatnot, it genuinely means a lot. And to see obviously what you've been able to do with the opportunities that you've earned at the end of the day. Like you could say that they've been given to you, you could say that you're the Nepo baby, but at the end of the day, like given the kind of person that you are, the opportunities that you've presented, like you've more than earned those opportunities in my humble opinion. Like, and seeing how you've been able to take those opportunities and just knock it out of the park every single time. Like you're absolutely fun when it comes to the streams you've been presenting. Obviously, like the fact that you had a great start when it came to the voice acting stuff with Ghostly, like a fantastic performance there, and seeing you now get the opportunity to have that full circle moment being a writer on SMG4, like it's really incredible to see how far you've been able to come along as an artist in all forms of fashions, and now getting the opportunity to sit here and chat with you, hear your ramblings, and really get an opportunity to see just kind of the love and passion that you have, not just for the field, but for your friends, the ones that have helped you get to this point. The fact that you're not really taking any of this for granted in one form or fashion. Like it's truly heartwarming, and it makes me excited to see what's going to be happening next with you, because I know you're going to earn every single opportunity you get, because you more than deserve it. Despite what anyone else may say, despite what you personally will think or whatnot, you absolutely deserve all these opportunities and then some. And I know you're going to knock it out of the park every single time. So,
no, you saying?
I was going to say, so sincerely, the long and the short of it is, thank you for what you do. Keep up the incredible work, and just know that no matter what happens from here on forward, I got your back, as well as a bunch of people have your back, and I'm going to be rooting for you every single opportunity that I get.
Thank you. Well, who knows? Maybe I'll be back in like 5 years or 10 years, and we'll do another one of these.
Oh hell, you're trust me, you're more than welcome back on this bad boy. All right, I'm not. I'll say. I was gonna say, hell, if you want, I could be available for certain days or whatnot. I'm more than happy to drop in on a stream for yours, and we can keep up the conversation elsewhere. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
I'll consider it. That's definitely something I would consider.
It would be an honor, but obviously at the end of the day, like it's your stream. You keep doing you, like you do your awesome stuff. All right.
Yes.
I will say though, if you do want to be serious when it comes to some of the like animation stuff, if you need a voice actor, have Mike. Will travel. Just say.
I'll definitely keep you up on that.
I mean, yeah, you do have connections to incredible people, just as Sean Chiplock and Alex Rashawn and Michael Kovac. But there's also this random podcast guy out here in the corner. Hi, how's it going?
Oh, definitely. I definitely keep you in mind when it comes to like a project if anything comes up. Yeah. Keep you in the back pocket. Hell yeah.
Now, if people want to know why exactly I have been gushing about this and why we've been having a discussion for over 2 hours at this point, go ahead and plug your stuff for the people at home. Where can people find you?
Fuck. Okay, you can find me on Blue Sky at WizardzWiz. That's why I primarily post my bullshit. You can also see me on WizardzWiz Twitch.tv. That's where I stream most of the time. You can find me on fucking WizardzWiz YouTube. That's where I post stuff, either my streams or like highlights, edited by the lovely Shocks. And then who knows? You might find me on other play. I am trying to do a VOD channel at some point. That will be coming eventually. I'll plug that at some point, maybe. Maybe whatever. Definitely, yeah. I'm also not on Twitter. Never go on Twitter. I'm dead. That's dead to me. I'm dead. I'm gonna leave. It's fucking yes. That's why I'm primarily Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube.
All right. And if you missed any links or whatnot, I'll be sure to have them in the description below. I'll also make sure, like I said before, to have all the links to all the people that you've been able to give a shout out to throughout the entire episode, because they deserve it as much as you do.
Definitely. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Fuck, I don't know what to think about anymore. Honestly, that's the fucking thing. Fuck, did we end it like that? Tell me what's wrong, tell me it's parts and motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car, you go when you used to call. Show me it all.
thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate it. Like I said in the intro, Wiz is someone that's been showing a lot of love and support for this podcast, and I wanted to really show that back. And by God, this chat was so much fun. Wiz, if you've gotten up to this point, thank you sincerely for taking the time to do this. You are a fantastic person, and you deserve all the love that you've gotten. Sincerely. I'm always amazed when it comes to chatting with guests like this. I'll be honest with y'all. The being away and not doing this podcast for a little bit, it made me reminisce on these conversations, and the fact that I'm finally back in the full swing of it, getting stuff planned out, getting conversations going again. Like, as much as I needed that vacation and I needed to go to Florida and all stuff like that, like I still always have fun with these conversations. I still have a blast, and I sincerely cannot wait for you guys to listen to the next few episodes I've already got lined up, because I've had some fun chats as of late, and it's gonna really, really show through more than anything else. And heck, with my trip to Florida and some of the artists I've been able to interact with, it'll be very interesting to see what kind of conversations I can get for you guys going forward. It's really exciting, given, especially with how fucking chaotic and ridiculous the world has been as of late. It's nice to have that little bit of excitement to look forward to. It's nice to have a little bit of fun here and there. I hope that's shown with these conversations I'm able to have, and if you are struggling through these ridiculous times, I'm hoping that this podcast can provide a little escape, even just for a little bit. If nothing else, the guests, if you want to take the time to go through their work, I know the worlds that they develop for people, they can definitely give you the proper escape. But I sincerely hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode, and you continue to enjoy the episodes, and continue to enjoy the guests. I'm being serious when I talk about the nomination thing. I want to really honor these guests, and that's why I have the nomination form out there, and I sincerely hope you guys take the time to fill it out and show these guests that same love and let them know just how great that they are, because that's what I want to do. Aside from that, you guys, please be good to yourselves. I know in today's world it's really hard sometimes, but please be good to yourselves. You guys deserve it.